Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to have a look at a game review of Game 12 from the World Chess Championship 2024, played between Liren and Gukesh Dommaraju. Here in Game 11 we saw Gukesh was able to pull out a win and now he's leading by 1 point. It is up to Ding now, who is playing white, to try to equalize. So the game starts off with c4, e6, and we obviously these kind of move orders transforms to the queen's gambit decline variations. So after g3 we have d5, bishop fianchettos, and then we have knight f6, knight f3, and we have d4. This is a very interesting move by black. Now obviously we know black is up a point, so all they want to do is just equalize as black and go to the next game as white and try to put more pressure on Ding. So here white castles and knight c6 was played, securing this pawn on d4. e3 was played. First bishop e7. This is a rare move actually at the high level. However, Gukesh was able to play that, and then we have d3. Now keep an eye on this d3 pawn. This d pawn is the one that really puts a lot of pressure in black's camp. Now one thing about English openings is I have played English opening in club tournaments. It is a very positional game. So Ding, I was very surprised when he chose this opening because he was supposed to put more pressure on Gukesh more tactically. But here d takes e3, bishop takes e3. Now white is actually expecting d4 move, so he plays e5. Knight c3 was played. Now, for example, here, if white played d4, black will simply exchange. And as you can see, the pawn structure is pretty much almost symmetrical. So black has very good chances of actually drawing this game. But Ding didn't want to do that. He played knight c3, and then black castles rook e1. And when we have this h6 move, a3 was played, and after a5 we have h3. Now these two moves are very important, because especially this a3 move, which controls the b4 square, because that actually suffocates the knights as in the middle game for black. So bishop e6 was played, and then we have king h2. This is also a strong weighty move according to Anish Giri. And then we have rook b8 played. Now, as you can see, black's pieces in this setup is probably in the ideal position. White obviously has some improvement to be made, but black's pieces are ideal. So this is kind of a headache for black. Usually, we always want our pieces to be in ideal squares, but for black, I don't know, they cannot improve from now on. So it looks that way in a strategical point of view. Queen c2 was played, and then we have rook e8. Knight b5 was played, putting a little bit of pressure on c7, and then after that queen f5, bishop f5 was played, putting a lot of pressure on the d3 pawn. It has to be defended, so white defends with rook d1, knight d7, and then we have queen d2. The whole idea is to obviously get away from this pin from the bishop. Bishop moves to g6. Now going back to this position, what happens if black plays knight c5? Now after d4, black might actually win an exchange here. After d5, knight takes on e1, queen takes on e1, and after knight d4 again, here knights are exchanged. However, after bishop takes d4, bishop retreats, and then we have queen takes a5. Even though black is up an exchange, but white will be able to take two more pawns, and white has a very pleasant position. And that's probably reason in this position, instead of knight c5, they played bishop g6. d4 was played. This is the move which we have been anticipating all this time. It was played on move 18, and then we have e4 attacking the knight. The knight retreats to g1, and then we have knight b6 attacking the pawn on c4. Queen defends this pawn. So even though the pieces are equal, white has a bit of small advantage. So bishop g6 was played again, pinning the queen, and then we have queen c2 a4, and knight e2 was played. Bishop g5 was played, kind of giving an exchange of these bishops. However, this is the only tactical oversight Gukesh was. Now you have to understand, Gukesh as black has been playing normal moves. He has been playing normal moves, even though he is a bit of a disadvantage at this point. He has been playing normal moves. This is the only tactical oversight Gukesh saw. Now the possibilities after knight g4 here, we have for example, if the bishop moves to h7 here, then what will happen is c5 can be played. For example, if the bishop takes on f4, first white will play c takes b6, and with bishop retreating to d6, we have this in between move b takes c7. And for example, if the bishop takes on c7, we obviously take it with the knight, and then when the queen takes it, and then all of a sudden we have quite a lot of tactics. For example, d5 can be played, pinning obviously the knight has been pinned to the queen, so this will win a piece. Also another way is to win material is to play a bishop f4, and as you can see, this is a skew. So this is the tactical oversight. So to avoid all of this, what they had to do is to simply take this knight with the bishop, and bishop takes f4. So strategically now black is lost, because the whole point is black has lost all the dark square, control of all the dark square, because they have exchanged the dark square bishop to a knight. And now strategically black is lost, so white simply has to convert this into a win now. So rook c8 was played. As you know, there was a lot of pressure on this point, so queen c3 was played, knight b8, and we have d5, which is a breakthrough in the center. Now I also had this, Ding could have played knight a7 and obviously win the rook. For example, if the knight moves, we can simply win the rook in exchange. And this is a very pleasant position. But as you know, Ding Liren is a world champion. He plays this d5 move with precision and with confidence. Now, here black replied with queen d7, d6 was played, and we have c5. They don't want to exchange, and this all of a sudden this d6 pawn becomes a very powerful pawn. Can you find Ding's next move? I hope you found knight c7. All of a sudden this knight comes out of nowhere, and it is putting a lot of pressure in the back rank. The rook has to retreat, and then we have bishop e4, exchange of now white is up a pawn, so knight c6 was played, bishop retreats, and we have queen's rook to d8. Here knight d5 was played, and here when the knights were exchanged, and all of a sudden white is winning the next pawn, because once the knight moves away, the queen takes the c5 pawn, and white is up 2 pawns now. The rook actually attacks the queen here, the queen retreats, and then knight a6 was played, and again now the killer move, rook e7. The rook take controls of the 7th rank, and if you know something about chess, once the rook take controls of the 7th rank, pretty much it's very hard to defend after this. So queen b5 was played, obviously trying to attack this pawn. d7 was played, the rook attacks the queen, queen retreats, and then we have now black take controls of the 7th rank. However, black's attack is not that strong, so bishop d6 was played, threatening a discovery on the black's rook. So f6 was played, and it was game over after this. Rook takes g7, and here Gukesh resigned. This is actually a forced checkmate. Can you find the checkmate here? So for example, if the king takes, you simply take the rook with the bishop. The king takes the bishop. We obviously promote the queen, pawn to queen. So queen to e8, and queen takes f6 check. Queen to f7. Here queen takes h6 check. The king has to move, and then we have this queen to h8 check. Obviously the queen now has to defend. You simply take the queen, and when the king moves d7, here queen d8 is checkmate. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and it's bye for now.